Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan. And now, host Cheryl Miller.
Hello and good morning. Thanks so much for joining us for Battle of the Brains. I'm Cheryl Miller. As with a lot of things these days, we have had to adapt and make some changes to the way our academic challenge is played due to the pandemic situation. But our competition still welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia. Joining us remotely as we continue round 2, today's teams are the Comets of Granby High School, coached by Rob Lemure. Granby High School is part of the public school system in Norfolk. It's the only high school in the district to offer the International Baccalaureate Diploma program. Also with us remotely today, the Saints of St. Christopher's School, coached by Alina Shahatsky. This college preparatory school for boys is located in Richmond. The school puts emphasis on its honor code and on the importance of community. And it's so good to have all of these students joining us remotely today. And because we can't all be together, here is how our game has changed. We will still have toss-up rounds, but the questions will be directed to each student and will alternate between teams. And there will be no point deduction for any incorrect answer. All right, teams, good to have you here. Let's start the first toss-up round. The first question goes to Granby High School and Charlotte. Charlotte, this condition can be caused by a deficiency of vitamin B12 or more commonly iron. Name this 6-letter general condition of low hemoglobin. And that would be anemia. St. Christopher's, Henry. Monrovia is the capital of which West African nation?
Liberia.
That is correct, Liberia. Granby, Eric. In a famous poster, who does Smokey Bear say is the only person who can prevent forest fires?
You.
You is correct. St. Christopher's, Weston. What 4-letter word refers to a tight cluster of things, a nodule on a piece of lumber, or a unit of speed in nautical navigation?
Not.
Not is correct. Granby, Nathan. Though elected to the U.S. House as a Whig, this man was elected U.S. President as a Republican. Name this frequent opponent of Stephen Douglas.
Lincoln.
Lincoln is correct. St. Christopher's, Mason. What are the optical instruments that can be reflecting or refracting and are used to observe distant stars?
Telescope.
Telescope is correct. Granby, Matthew. This was explicitly entrenched in the 1803 case of Marbury versus Madison under John Marshall. Give the 2-word name for this power of the Supreme Court to declare laws unconstitutional.
Judicial review.
That is correct. St. Christopher's, Kevin. In 10-pin bowling, what is a perfect score?
300.
That is correct. Granby, Charlotte, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. If Mark's grades so far are 93, 100, 92, and 100, what would Mark's score on the next algebra test need to be in order to give him an average of 95? And the answer is 90. St. Christopher's, Henry. This Indo-European language is today spoken primarily in Iran and Afghanistan. By what name is this Persian language known?
Farsi.
Farsi is correct. Granby, Eric. Of all the bones in the human body, the longest has an average length of almost 20 inches. Name this bone.
Femur.
Say again for me, please.
Femur.
Femur is correct, the thigh bone. St. Christopher's, Weston. Processed from wheat and related species such as barley and rye, what is the name of this protein composite that has become a current health concern in foods?
Gluten.
Gluten is correct. Granby, Nathan. The enthalpy of this process refers to the amount of heat needed to convert a solid to a liquid. It can also refer to the joining of atomic nuclei as occurs within stars. Give this 6-letter term the opposite of fission.
Fusion.
That is correct. St. Christopher's, Mason. In what city was the edict issued in 1598 by Henry IV of France that stated Protestants in that country had religious freedom?
Nantes.
Nantes is correct. Granby, Matthew. In 1984, who became the first woman to run on a major party's ticket for vice president?
Geraldine Ferraro.
That is correct. St. Christopher's, Kevin. What 10-letter word is the term for a man-made replacement for a missing body part? And that would be a prosthesis or prosthetic. And that buzzer is the end of our first toss-up round. Good job by our team so far. Up next, we'll introduce you to today's players, and then they'll take on the category round. So stay here for much more on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
And here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Granby High School with 60 points, St. Christopher's School with 70 points. And we will get back to our match just ahead, but first we want to introduce you to today's players. Let's meet our team from Granby High School. They are the Comets. Their coach is Rob Lemure. First up is Charlotte Leibs. Charlotte's a senior, and in her spare time, she enjoys singing and listening to musicals. She likes to play with her dog, and in college, she hopes to major in women's studies. Next up is the team's captain, Eric Wiggins. Eric's a senior who enjoys writing and playing video games when not at school or work. And after high school, he hopes to major in math or finance. Next up is Nathan McCarty, who's a sophomore. In his spare time, he likes to play video games and read Wikipedia. He'd like to major in philosophy or anthropology in college. And wrapping up our team from Granby High School, Matthew Larkin. Matthew's a junior. He enjoys riding his bike, reading books and comic books, and playing complicated board games. He'd like to go into the military and eventually to law school and become a public defender and maybe dabble in politics after that. That's our team from Granby High School. Good to have you all here with us. Now let's meet our team from St. Christopher's School. They are the Saints. Their coach is Alina Shahutsky. First up is Henry Weatherford. Henry's a senior. He's currently the editor-in-chief of the school's newspaper and their literary magazine. Next up is the team captain, Weston Williams. Weston's a senior. He's captain also of the varsity swim team, and in his free time enjoys watching baseball and enjoys reading. Mason Carter is a junior. He's an Eagle Scout who enjoys playing golf and video games with his friends. His favorite subject, he says, is history. And wrapping up our team is Kevin Omohundro, who is a junior. He's an Eagle Scout. He enjoys running and snowboarding. He's the lead programmer on the St. Christopher robotics team. He says his favorite subjects are math and computer science. That is our team from St. Christopher School. Good to have you all with us today. Now, for our category round, each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they'll receive a 20-point bonus. Teams, here are today's categories from which you may choose. They are Women in U.S. History, Artists and Their Works, and Completion of Literary Titles. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may talk it through with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answer. And our team with the highest score will get first choice of category. That is St. Christopher's. So Weston, quickly talk it over with your teammates. Let me know what category you'd like to play.
We'll do complete the literary title.
All right, complete the titles of each of these literary works with the final word of that title. The first is Mark Twain's A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's blank.
Court. Our answer is court.
Correct. Michael Bond's A Bear Called...
Paddington. Our answer is Paddington.
Correct. Herman Wilkes From Here to...
Eternity. Our answer is Eternity.
Correct. Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure blank.
Our answer is Island.
Correct. Richard Adams' Watership blank.
Our answer is Down.
Correct. Dr. Seuss's A Cat in the blank.
Our answer is Hat.
Correct. George Orwell's Animal what?
Our answer is Farm.
Correct. C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the what?
Our answer is Wardrobe.
Correct. Ernest Hemingway's A Farewell to blank.
Our answer is Arms.
Correct. And finally, Louisa May Alcott's Little blank.
Our answer is Women.
That is correct, and that is a sweep of the category, all 10 questions correct, and a 20-point bonus for the team from St. Christopher's. Good job on that. All right, Granby, your category will either be Women in U.S. History or Artists and Their Works. So, Eric, you and your team quickly talk it over. Let me know which category you would like to play.
All right. So
We should
which
do
one
women
are
in U.S. history.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Are we all cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, our category would be women in U.S. history.
All right, identify the following women who played a significant role in U.S. history. The first is the Native American Woman Guide on the Lewis and Clark Expedition.
Sacagawea.
Our answer is Sacagawea.
Correct. U.S. Supreme Court Justice known as the Notorious RBG.
Ruth Ginsburg.
Our answer is Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Correct. Led more than 300 slaves to freedom on the Underground Railroad.
Harriet Tubman.
Our answer is Harriet Tubman.
Correct. Suffragette pictured on the American $1 coin.
Anthony.
Susan B. Anthony.
Our answer is Susan B. Anthony.
Correct. Founder of the American Red Cross.
Clara Barton.
Our answer is Clara Barton.
That is correct. First American woman in space.
Sally Ride.
Ryder. Is it Ride or Ryder?
I think it's Ride.
Our answer is Sally Ride.
Sally Ride is correct. First woman to pilot a plane across the Atlantic Ocean.
Amelia Earhart.
Our answer is Amelia Earhart.
Correct. Author of the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Defer to Matthew.
Our answer is Harriet Beecher Stowe.
That is correct, and no deferring, please. Founder of the Girl Scouts.
Juliette Gordon Low.
Our answer is Juliette Gordon Low.
Correct. And finally, first woman on the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's O'Connor, I think.
Yeah, Sandra O'Connor.
Our answer is Sandra O'Connor.
That is correct. Sandra Day O'Connor, all 10 correct, and a 20-point bonus for our team from Granby High School. A great job in our category round today for our teams, both getting everything correct and getting a 20-point bonus. Coming up next, another toss-up round when we come back here on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
And here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Granby High School with 130 points, St. Christopher's School with 140 points. And now for another toss-up round, and again our questions being directed to individual players alternating between teams, and there is no point deduction for an incorrect answer. In this toss-up round, our first question going to Granby High School and Charlotte. Charlotte, Luxembourg City is the capital of Luxembourg. Spell Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
That is incorrect. It's Luxembourg, Luxembourg. St. Christopher's. Henry, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. If two triangles are similar with a scale factor of 2 to 5, what is the ratio of their areas? And that would be 4 to 25. Granby, Eric. Its port cities include Karachi and Mumbai. Oman and India lie on what sea that shares its name with a large Middle Eastern peninsula?
The Bay of Bengal.
The answer is Arabian Sea. St. Christopher's, Weston. Dr. Jane Goodall is an expert in the habits of what primate species, having closely observed them in jungles of Gombe Game Preserve in Africa for 15 years.
Chimpanzees.
That is correct. Granby, Nathan. This author won 2 Pulitzer Prizes for biographies of Presidents Harry Truman and John Adams. Name this historian who in 2019 published The Pioneers, the heroic story of the settlers who brought the American ideal west.
Jared Diamond.
That would be David McCullough. St. Christopher's, Mason. Who was the first African-American male tennis player to win a Wimbledon singles title?
Arthur Ashe.
In 1975, that is correct. Granby, Matthew. What was the basic decision in the 7-1 1896 United States Supreme Court case of 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson? And that would be that separate but equal is constitutional. St. Christopher's, Kevin. Described in the fables as hailing from Baghdad, if Sinbad the sailor were alive today, what would his likely nationality be?
Chinese.
He would be Iraqi. His home base was the port of Basra. Granby, Charlotte. The Campbell Bowl and Prince of Wales Trophy for conference champions and the Hart Trophy for the most valuable player are awarded in what professional sports league that used to feature the Norris and Patrick divisions?
NHL.
Repeat for me, please.
NHL.
NHL is correct. All right, St. Christopher's Henry. What teenage singer-songwriter received a 2021 Grammy nomination for Song of the Year for Everything I Wanted? And that would be Billie Eilish. Granby, Eric. It is the only horizontal long bone in the body. What is the scientific name of this bone, known informally as the collarbone? And that would be the clavicle. St. Christopher's, Weston. It is covered with mucosa and tiny bumps called papillae. Name this human organ you are sometimes figuratively told to hold when you need to be quiet.
The tongue.
That is correct. Granby, Nathan. Its inhabitants were welcomed by Bragi after being chosen from the field of battle by the Valkyries. Name this hall of the slain from Norse mythology.
Norwegians.
That would be Valhalla. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round to go, and then we'll have today's winner here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
And here are the scores as we head into the final round here on Battle of the Brains. Granby High School with 140 points, St. Christopher's School with 170 points. And in this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled, and there's no deduction for an incorrect answer. And again, in this virtual version of Battle of the Brains this season, we are directing questions to individual students, and we're alternating between teams. We're going to start this final round with St. Christopher's and Mason. Mason, it was created on July 10th, 1940, when the Constitution of 1875 was suspended. Name this government of unoccupied France from 1940 until 1944.
Vichy, France.
That is correct, Vichy. Granby, Matthew. What is the name given to the time period between Ash Wednesday and Easter?
Lent.
Lent is correct. St. Christopher's, Kevin. In the world of comics, who is Bruce Wayne's alter ego?
Batman.
That is correct, Batman. Granby, Charlotte. A sarcophagus is a stone coffin associated with ancient civilizations. Spell sarcophagus.
SARCOPHUS.
It is SARCOPHAGUS, sarcophagus. St. Christopher's, Henry. It was during the reign of the Emperor Titus in 79 CE that which Italian volcano erupted, destroying the neighboring villages of Pompeii and Herculaneum?
Vesuvius.
Vesuvius is correct, Mount Vesuvius. Granby, Eric. This structure opened April 9th, 1965 and was called the 8th wonder of the world. Built in Houston, what was the first multi-purpose domed sports stadium in the world?
The Astrodome.
That is correct, the Astrodome. St. Christopher's, Weston. What is the most populous city in Virginia?
Virginia Beach.
That is correct. Granby, Nathan. December 21st, 2020, which two adjacent planets in our solar system aligned and formed a so-called double planet, something that had not been seen since the year 1226?
Saturn and Jupiter.
That is correct. St. Christopher's, Mason. His volume, In the Clearing, includes The Gift Outright, the poem he recited at John F. Kennedy's inauguration. Name this American poet of pieces including The Road Not Taken and Mending Wall.
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost is correct. Granby, Matthew. It lies between States Avenue and St. Charles Place and typically charges 4 times the number shown on the dice. Name this $150 property that is paired with waterworks in the game of Monopoly.
Marvin Gardens.
That would be the electric company. St. Christopher's, Kevin. What is the term given to the ideology rampant in the 19th century and still very much alive, which holds that people derive their identity from their nation and owe it their primary allegiance?
Nationalism.
Nationalism is correct. Granby, Charlotte. Toward the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, the protagonist, Peter Quill, challenges the antagonist Ronan to what type of competition?
A dance-off?
That is correct. St. Christopher's, Henry. It is defined as the amount of energy or heat needed to increase the temperature of 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. Identify this 3-word term. That would be a British thermal unit, or BTU. Granby, Eric. Dutch Harbor has a large crab fishery. Kiska and Attu were invaded by Japan in World War II. Name these volcanic islands south of the Bering Sea that stretch west from the mainland of Alaska.
Iwo Jima.
That would be the Aleutian Islands. St. Christopher's, Weston. Who invented the North River steamboat, the first practical and financially successful vessel of this type?
Fulton.
Robert Fulton is correct. And that buzzer is the end of our match. While our judges double-check the final score, we want to remind you how to stay connected with us here on Battle of the Brains. If you'd like to find out more about our show, just log on to battleofthebrains.net. You'll also find Battle of the Brains on Facebook and full episodes of the show on YouTube. And as we continue round 2 of our new season of Battle of the Brains, please join us next week when we virtually welcome teams from Midlothian's Cosby High School and Benedictine College Preparatory in Goochland. And now, here's the final score for today's match, determining which team will continue on to the next round in our season's competition. Ending the match with 220 points. Great job today from Granby High School and Charlotte, Eric, Nathan, and Matthew. Thanks for being here with us this season. Our winners in today's round, St. Christopher's School with a final score of 310 points. Congratulations to Henry, Weston, Mason, and Kevin. And we will see you gentlemen in the next round. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thanks so much for playing along and watching here on Battle of the Brains. We'll see you back here next Saturday morning. Thanks, teams. See you soon.
Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.